and welcome to Northwest Brew Talk. I'm Mike Rizzo.
And I'm Michelle Rizzo.
And we're here at Barking Dog Ale House in Ballard. We're here for Adventures in Babysitting number 2. And this is a good time here. Lots of kids and lots of people and lots of good food. Lots of beer. On today's show, we will have an interview with Republic Brewing, our brew news and views, and local music from Heart of Vale.
If you have any comments or questions, send us an email to nwbrewtalk@gmail.com. We are on Twitter at nwbrewtalk and on Facebook at facebook.com/nwbrewtalk. To start the show, let's open our first beer.
All right, this is Spring Elixir IPA from Fremont Brewing and Bartell Drugs. This beer has 10.5% ABV.
Fremont Brewing is a family-owned craft brewery founded in 2009. They were born of their love for their home and history, as well as their desire to prove that beer made with the finest local ingredients, organic when possible, is not the wave of the future, but the doorway to beer's history. They are located in Fremont and Seattle, of course, and are kid and dog friendly.
All right. Super golden and super citrusy smelling.
I can smell it from over here. The Spring Elixir IPA was released to celebrate Bartell's 125th anniversary. As it says on the bottle, it was crafted in the spirit of local pride and partnership. This sold out quickly. We stopped in at several different Bartells on at least 4 different occasions, and each time they were sold out. This IPA is brewed with Simcoe, Sorachi Ace, and Mosaic hops. It is a 10.5% ABV and 93.25 IBUs.
Yes, definitely got the bitterness coming in at the end there. But this definitely some elixir, 10.5%. After you drank this bottle, you would definitely not need anything else. All right, and now, onto the brew news and views.
We've talked about beer and brewery names in past episodes. Sometimes a seemingly benign name from a little startup shouldn't generate much news, but when that little brewery starts getting its name out, the bigger guys get nervous. Take Drop Anchor Brewery in Calumet, Washington. Open just a year, their beers have already garnered attention, and some of it they didn't want. Apparently, Anchor Brewing Company, one of the original craft breweries, felt consumers could be confused by Drop Anchor, and they claimed to have a trademark on the word Anchor. So, the small brewery, available in 60 locations, has changed its name to River Mile 38 Brewing Company. The name, says managing partner Richard Erickson, quote, ties us back to the Columbia River and the Calumet Marina where we are located, unquote. That's 38 miles upstream from the mouth of the Columbia River. This past Saturday, May 16th, they held their first anniversary party and announced the new name. River Mile 38 Brewing is available throughout Southwest Washington and as far north as Olympia. They said this is just a small bump in their journey. Make sure you check them out at rivermile38.com.
All right. This 7th annual Seattle Beer Week is in the books. There were lots of events over the 10-day period and dozens of breweries and bars participating, and of course, lots and lots of beer. We were able to visit 3 places on Saturday the 16th. We started at Barking Dog Ale House, only to find the time for the event was wrong. So we headed over to Reuben's Brews to check out their new facility and their Rye Fest. I tried their American Rye. It was supposed to have a variety of flavors. I remember tangerine was one of them. But they must have been very subtle because I didn't get any of them. But the location is great. There was a stream of nonstop customers in line to try their beer. They have a great patio. There was a food truck, and it was definitely a great beer day. Next, we headed back to Barking Dog Ale House for Adventures in Babysitting 2. This was a great kid-friendly event. We sat down to eat, and our son was entertained for an hour with a variety of different kid-friendly events. The food was very good, and they had a nice beer selection. Our last stop that day was at Bluebird Ice Cream and Brewery on Greenwood. The ice cream was delicious with freshly made waffle cones. They had an interesting selection of beers and sodas. It's a small place, and it looks like they only have 3 of their own beers on tap at a time, but it was nice. I will definitely stop in there again, but that was all the time we had for our Seattle Beer Week adventure.
There are many more beer-related events coming up, though. The biggest one will be Father's Day weekend, Friday, June 19th through Sunday, June 21st. There will be over 100 Washington breweries in attendance, the largest ever gathering in one place for Washington breweries. The event is at Marymore Park in Redmond, and there will be over 400 different beers, tons of food, live music. Friday is 21 and over, but Saturday and Sunday are all ages, so there will be local root beer and soda. Visit washingtonbeer.com for tickets and details. You definitely don't want to miss this event.
And that is the Washington Brewers Festival, which I forgot to put in the notes there. To name another story, to another name story, I should say, Three Magnets Brewing in Olympia recently had to change the name of their Rainy Day IPA to 3 Mag Rain IPA. The IPA is their flagship beer, and it was named after, quote, iconic Olympia record store Rainy Day Records, unquote. The other brewery in question called to ask them to change the name in early April, and by the end of April, that brewery made it clear that they were not interested in any type of compromise and insisted that the name of the beer be changed. Three Magnets asked them to have until the end of May to change the name, but a week later, they were sent a cease and desist letter, so they changed the name of 3 of their beers so they're all in a similar fashion. Now, in another story that could be related, we'll leave that up to you, our listeners, Rainy Days Brewing in Silverdale won Favorite Brew at the Gig Harbor Beer Festival recently. This is the second year in a row that they won that award. Congratulations to owner Mike Montone. And that is the Brew News and Views this week.
Welcome back to Northwest Brew Talk. If you want to submit news to Northwest Brew Talk, send us an email to nwbrewtalk@gmail.com, or if you've not yet subscribed to our podcast, why not do it now? It's free, available on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, and other sites. And if you like us, a review and rating is always really appreciated. But even more important, tell your friends about NW Brew Talk via social media or whatever way you want.
All right, now let's talk to Republic Brewing from Republic, Washington. All right, we are here with Billy and Emily Bird of Republic Brewing Company in Republic, Washington. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing great.
Awesome. So why don't you tell us how you got into the brewing business?
Well, it all started when I was at the University of Montana. I was a biology student, and during one of our lectures, a teacher started talking about making beer at home, and that sparked my interest. And so shortly after that, I went out and bought some buckets and made my first batch, and just kind of got hooked from there.
So how long have you been, or were you homebrewing before you decided to open a brewery?
Yeah, that was in 2003 that I started home brewing, and then we opened the brewery in 2011.
Okay. All right. So what made you want to open the brewery to begin with?
Well, we both came back to Republic where we were raised, and we both had jobs that we weren't really particularly thrilled with. And so we figured that, it's about time that we started doing something we wanted to do, and beer was something that I really wanted to do. And so we've been kicking the idea around for probably
5 years?
5 years prior to opening the brewery, and finally we just decided we don't do it now, we probably never will.
2011, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say that the community really needed a spot, like a place to gather, and that growing up here, when we moved back, it was just kind of, we wanted that place and it didn't exist, and we wanted good beer, and so I would say it was like 2 parts. We were passionate about beer, and then also we were passionate about our community, and we just wanted to do something that showcased our hometown.
That makes sense. And 2011, not exactly the best economic times. So how did you guys put together funding to do that?
We started with a tiny brewing system and a lot of help from friends and no funding.
Okay, yeah, that's a good way. So what size system are you brewing on now?
We're still on a 2-barrel system.
Okay.
So we do a lot of small batches, a lot of hours.
So about how many barrels do you do a year?
We probably pushing around 400 barrels a year.
Oh, really? You are doing a lot of batches.
Yeah. We every brew day is at least 2 batches, and we're gonna switch this year. Actually, we start doing 3 batches every day. We're gonna need a little more fermenting capacity and try and push out a little more beer on our small systems.
Okay. So I saw that you have 6 taps. So is that how many beers you have of your own beer on tap at any given time then?
It's typically been 7. We have 8 taps.
Okay.
Right now, 7 are dedicated to beer, and then 1 is cider that we don't make, but we carry cider for those who don't want to drink beer.
So what styles of beer are you brewing? I see you've got pretty much from a light to a dark, pretty much the whole gamut there.
Yeah, we predominantly make just ales. We have 2 4-barrel fermenters now that we started making lagers in about a year and a half ago, but we mainly focus on the ales. Our pale ale is our most popular beer, and it's just kind of a mildly hop pale ale with Cascade hops, a little bit of citrus flavor to it, and then it goes from there to our Irish Stout, which is very popular too, and we serve that on nitrogen. So we try and keep a really wide variety of beers available, and they rotate fairly often just to keep, so nobody gets bored, I guess.
All right. Now, are there any styles that you haven't done yet that you'd like to pursue?
I've never done any sours or anything like that, and I don't know that I would want to pursue that right now. Maybe if I was, start homebrewing again, work on some kind of more exotic beers. We kind of tend to focus on kind of traditional recipes, but don't really have any exotic at the brewery right now.
Okay. Do you use local ingredients?
Moderately local. I mean, we get a lot of our hops from the Yakima Valley, and all of our malt just comes from up in D.C., which is only a couple-hour drive from us. So it's semi-local.
Okay. Now, are there any yeast or hops that you prefer to use?
I use Cascades in a lot of my beers, in the pale ale and IPA. That's mainly the ones that we tend to focus on. We have a wider variety of some for like our English brown. We do get some hops from England, the Goldings and stuff, and we try and on our traditional recipes we try and use the ingredients from the area that the beer is supposed to be originally from. Okay,
makes sense. Do you adjust your water then for any of those?
No, not really. The water here in Republic it's pretty good brewing water. It's moderately hard, so it's got lots of calcium and minerals in it and stuff, but not overly hard. And so we don't really we don't adjust the water.
Okay. So I also saw that you do some specialty sodas.
Yes, we have Amber Hunt is one of our. She's actually learning to brew with us right now. She has been with us since the beginning, and she makes the sodas, and she really likes doing it, and she's a very creative person, and that's another reason why we're trying to get her into the brewing, to, kind of maybe get some of those exotic beers with her creativity and stuff going.
Nice. So
we make a lot of that. The sodas we can use local ingredients, so she in the summertime that's all sourced from the farmer's market. So it's a lot of like rhubarb soda, honey, basil, lime,
strawberries.
Nice. Right now we have a strawberry, but it's all whole fruit.
Oh, very interesting.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, definitely sounds different.
It's really neat because that's, like I said, it's a community place, so it's
right.
A lot of people don't drink. It gives them an option for something different.
Right, and I see that you're in the old firehouse too. So that really that ties with the community completely there.
Yeah, right on Main Street. It was a fire hall until 1994.
So do you
From
I'm sorry, go ahead.
1925 to 1994, it was a fire hall. So.
Oh, okay. Do you guys distribute any of beer, or is it all on premises?
It's mainly all on premise. Probably 80% of the beer is sold on premise. We have a couple restaurants in town that carry our beer too, and 2 places outside of town that have very small volume that we will supply to. But other than that, we can't really make enough beer to keep up with our pub and the other restaurants. It's pretty tough in the summertime.
Right. Do you have plans on expanding that system at some point in the future?
We have some plans, to expand on. We're kind of maxed out for space in the current building we're at, and it's such a great location that we don't know if we want to, expand and kind of lose the charm of having it in that nice old fire hall, and getting a bigger brewery and have to put it into another building. We're not sure how that would affect, our in-town business if we had to brew off location and bring it into the pub. I think it'd probably be fine, but we don't know if we want to make that step yet.
Mm-hmm. Nice. I also saw that you guys have won several awards for some of your beers. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, our porter has won last 2 years, or it got a gold medal 2 years ago in the Washington State Beer Award, and then last year it got a bronze. So that our porter is pretty popular, and then our Irish Red got an award last year in the Washington State Beer Awards. And I think the Washington State Beer Awards is only this coming year is going to be their 3rd year doing it, so it's a relatively new competition as well.
That's pretty impressive, though. I mean, take the gold and a bronze there with that. So it must be a pretty true to style then.
Yeah. The porter it's a robust porter, so it's pretty. It's dark and heavy and
it's delicious. It's my favorite.
Yeah. Every time I ask somebody what their favorite beers are, they always say, "Oh, they're all my babies. I can't choose one." So.
No, I don't necessarily choose a favorite. My taste seems to change throughout the season.
Right.
And so I usually drink a lot of the pale ale, but in the wintertime I'll drink some higher gravity beers and specialty beers in the wintertime. And so my palate changes throughout the year.
So, you guys do any of the festivals?
We do a few. Our main thing is that we just can't make enough beer, and then in the summertime it's bland all the time. So we hit like a festival in May and some in September, but we can't really get out to very many festivals because we don't have enough beer.
Sure. Well, that would be good that you can sell all your beer on premises. So that's good.
Yeah, that's one of our advertising logos or mottos is a pint in a place worth the drive.
Nice.
So we try to get we really work on getting people to come up and make an experience beer instead of going to festivals. Although festivals are also a blast.
Yeah.
And we used to do them before we had a brewery.
Nice. So, have you guys had any major obstacles or problems that you've come across?
We, starting really small with no debt and lots of help from friends, it's been a ton of work. I mean, you just kind of commit your life to it,
right?
Which is okay. But I wouldn't say there's been anything huge except for production.
Yeah, probably the biggest obstacle is when we opened, the brewery just wasn't big enough. We kind of underestimated the market in the town. Mm-hmm. And right off the bat, we were like, no, this isn't going to work. So that was probably our biggest obstacle, is not being able to make enough beer. And it's still kind of that way, because we have people in the restaurants around the area that would still like to carry our beer, but we have to say no just because we can't make enough. And so, expansion would be a good idea for sure, but we're just kind of waiting to make that step, because it'd be quite the overhaul, having to move to a new building and everything. And so we're kind of taking that slow.
Right. Yeah, I can get wanting to not lose that charm that you have now.
Right.
Yeah.
We have that discussion all the time. You don't want to lose the place. It's definitely a special place. We've got outdoor seating that's really beautiful, and I don't know, we like it.
All right. Yeah, that'd be something definitely to grapple with, whether you want to become a bigger brewery or, just keep brewing 3 a day.
Yeah. We really like what we got going now, but it is hard to tell people no that we can't get your restaurant beer or your bathhouse beer. Don't like doing that, but as it is, we really like what we have going.
Right.
You can tell you're kind of like, this is our like every dinner conversation.
Yeah. I can imagine. So, what do you think makes your beers stand out?
I would have to say that consistency is one of the biggest things, that I really try and push for. I mean, every brewery tries to push for consistency, but, and I think, especially in our area, just, their traditional recipes, they're just consistently good beer, and people just really enjoy it.
Yeah, I would say that we make world-class beer on a small scale and just always push to compare it. Billy and I spent some time traveling in Europe, drinking, the best beer in the world, and pushing towards that higher bar. Just because we're small doesn't mean we have to settle. So just some of the best styles we've ever tried, try to keep that on tap. So we tend to really like traditional, like simple recipes. We don't mess around too much with adjuncts. So just keep it simple and keep it high quality.
Nice. Well, that's a good way to end this. Billy and Emily Burt from Republic Brewing, thanks for joining us today.
You bet. Thanks for having us.
Thanks to Billy and Emily from Republic Brewing for joining us today. We will be right back after a local music break from Heart of Ale.
Just smile as she walks on by. You throw your hands up and walk away. She boils your blood and makes you see red. The lace and leather she's wrapped in. If you could see what you do to me. Every time, that stupid smile, that look of vanity. Prissy little princess in ribbons and bows. She you do to me. Every time, that stupid smile, that look of vanity. If you could see what you do to me. Every time, that stupid smile, that look of vanity.
Was Pink Lace from Heart of Ale. You can search for them at ReverbNation.com. If you want to have your music played on Northwest Brew Talk, make sure you contact us today.
Okay, that's what you want to do. Now, we're going to try another beer. This is Clementine by Snipes Mountain Brewery, 4.1% ABV.
Snipes Mountain Ales are handcrafted in small batches using a blend of traditional and modern brewing methods. Their pure house yeast is clean, finishing, and flexible enough to produce many styles of ales. Snipes Mountain features many varieties of locally grown Yakima Valley hops, balanced with a blend of Northwest and European malts. The use of quality ingredients and a passion for beer results in a fresh, unique, full-flavored beer.
Yep. It's definitely a mild beer. Get a little bit of that hoppiness taste in it, but it's pretty good. It goes down easy.
This American Pale Ale pours a light golden amber color and is a sessionable 4.1% ABV. Biscuity caramel malts in the aroma with citrusy floral hops. This was released for the Beer Shop in Yakima's 8th anniversary.
Yeah, that's pretty good beer. And that's a new one to our show. All right, and that brings us to the end of this episode of Northwest Brew Talk.
Make sure you tune in next week when we chat with Heathen Brewing in Vancouver.
The show is produced and edited by me, with engineering help from Michelle Rizzo.
If you want to contact us, you can also email us at nwbrewtalk@gmail.com, or you can give us a call at 541-595-TALK. That's 541-595-8255.
Until next time, I'm Mike Rizzo.
And I'm Michelle Rizzo.
Stay hopping, my friends.